Israel does not have a right to defend itself. You're wrong. You're wrong. They have a right to defend themselves. Israel has a right to defend themselves. Don't you tell me they don't have a right to defend themselves. You are so wrong. This is not an argument that anyone is having. No one is debating whether or not Israel has a right to defend itself. No one has said Israel does not have a right to defend themselves. So if this is not a debate, if no one is even suggesting Israel does not have a right to defend themselves, why do people keep saying it? Are they crazy? They're just saying it for fun? It sounds cool? Israel has a right to defend itself. Like, why? What inspires those words? What leads a person to saying that phrase, Israel has a right to defend itself? Why would you say something that is meaningless? It's like saying humans have a right to drink water. Who the hell is saying we don't? What is the reason people keep saying this? It's a very dark reason. It's one of those things that we, as human animals, we like to think of ourselves as special. Unlike the other animals, we're civilized, right? We don't walk around smelling each other's butts, most of us anyway. That's what we would like to think. We like to think highly of ourselves as Homo sapiens. And therein lies the conflict. It clashes with the reality that we are just merely human animals. And many of us are very savage indeed. In fact, you can identify many of the savages by a particular phrase that they love. And the phrase goes like this: Israel has a right to defend itself. That is the dark truth behind that phrase. It is the phrase of the human animal savages. Typically, people who keep saying that phrase reliably are savages. And that is why they use that phrase as a shield to protect themselves from the truth. What is the truth? People who say that phrase, typically, in my view, don't care about the slaughter of innocent civilians. They don't care about babies being slaughtered, women being slaughtered. They don't care. The numbers mean nothing. 1,000 Palestinians dead. Oh, sucks to be you. 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. Oh well, it's just a number to them. 10,000 killed. Well, you shouldn't have been born in an inconvenient part of the planet. They do not care about human suffering, which includes, many of them in my view, the suffering of the Israelis. They only pretend to care about the civilians slaughtered by Hamas because of their tribal brain, the human animal tribal brain. Their tribe is outraged about the poor babies and they rape the women. So they virtue signal and they fake outrage. Oh, those savages, the Palestinians, Hamas, they raped those women. But they don't care, because if they did, right out of humanity, they had humanity, they would be bothered by the numbers of Palestinians being killed right now. So clearly they're not people who have this natural empathy for human suffering and atrocities, right? Because it's being done tenfold right now to another group of people, and they're not posting on social media, oh, this is horrible, oh, the poor Palestinians. They're not posting about that. They would post on October 7th because that's what their tribe is doing. But now they're silent because they're savages. I'm gonna lean in harder than that. I'm gonna say what no one else wants to say, right? I'm gonna just put it out there, because I'm not trying to make friends here. I'm not trying to say what people want to hear. I'm giving you the cold, hard truth, whether you like it or not. I'm gonna go all out and say what's really happening. If Israel were to bomb the entire Gaza Strip, killing every single Palestinian in the area, regardless of it is intentional or not, I would bet you good money that an overwhelming majority of people who say Israel has the right to defend itself do not care one bit. Let me say it again. If every single Palestinian was wiped off the face of the earth, every baby, every woman, every man, wiped off the earth, I don't think it matters how you wipe them off the earth either. Let's say you just light the entire Gaza Strip on fire, burn them to death. I would wager that a majority of the Israel has a right to defend themselves people, they're not going to shed a single tear. If Israel were capable and went around and killed every single Palestinian on this planet, wherever they are, they send assassins, they create this team of assassins that travel the globe looking for Palestinians and slaughtering them brutally, making them suffer slow deaths. I would wager that a majority of the people who say Israel has a right to defend themselves would not care one bit. Now, if it got so extreme, their level of discomfort with the truth, which leads them to saying, instead of admitting that, instead of saying, you know, Israel should wipe them all out, I don't care about those babies, instead of saying the truth, right, they say instead, Israel has a right to defend it. Hide behind that, because like that has no meaning. Like, what do you mean, Israel? No one is saying they don't. So what are you saying that for? Because they don't want to say what they really feel, which is kill them all. Of course, kill them all. They deserve it, right? But if they literally kill them all, I would hope that this would, I mean, you see the backlash right now. Can you imagine the backlash at that point? So I don't know if they would, I mean, they're already uncomfortable to coming up with this nonsensical phrase. So I think the discomfort would be even higher. So at that point, I think they would start to do a fake condemn, a fake like, well, you know, that's kind of sad what's happening. I think even then, they would not initiate. They would not, on their own terms, sit down at home and hear about, you know, some killing of Palestinians and and post on their social media, oh my goodness, this is pretty bad, right? But they would more openly, if questioned and cornered, more openly say, well, you know, I don't agree with what they're doing. I mean, I agree they've gone a little bit too far. You know, they would say that just for, I don't know, social acceptance, what do you want to call it? I mean, because the backlash would be so strong. I mean, who would want to be anywhere near, you know, the revelation that they don't care about this, or they support this, right? But in my view, that's the reality. That is why people say Israel has a right to defend themselves, because these are savages, not unlike the ones who raped and murdered civilians on October 7th. Not unlike the ones who, seeing what happened on October 7th, quickly jumped to, well, Israel had it coming, right? People who jump to Israel had it coming as women and children are slaughtered are savages who, just like the people who say Israel has a right to defend itself, those same people, right, the pro-Hamas people, would also probably not shed a tear if every single Israeli was wiped off the face of the earth. That is how you identify the savages. The ones who are focused on October 7th, and that is as the blood is spilling. The ones who on October 7th was focused on, well, Israel, you know, they had it coming. Savages. The ones who doing the same thing in this moment as thousands of Palestinians are being killed. The ones who in this moment are saying Israel has a right to defend itself. Savages on both sides. The people who say these things, human life doesn't matter to them. Right? This is like a movie to them. They just see it on TV. There's no level of empathy. Right? But they're not man enough or woman enough to admit the brutal reality of their positions. Right? They're not man enough to say, I don't care about these Palestinians. Wipe them out. Right? They're not man enough to say that. So they say, Israel has a right to defend itself. That's the truth that nobody wants to say. Right? They're savages. 1 million babies slaughtered. Palestinian babies. Oh, well, they're not going to say that. They're going to feel that. They're not going to say that. Right? So instead, Israel has a right to defend itself. Somebody should write a song. Israel has a right to defend itself because of October 7th. 10-7, 10-7, 10-7, 10-7, 10-7, 10-7. Israel has a right to defend itself. They have a right to defend themselves. 10-7, 10-7, 10-7, 10-7. That's the whole song. That's the whole song. There's nothing else to it. There's no rhyming. There's nothing else. That's it. The whole song is Israel has a right to defend itself. October 7th, October 7th, October 7th. That's the whole song. Savages. But they're not man enough or woman enough to admit their actual positions. This is Baby Child. Debate in the comment section below. Click the like button, subscribe, smash that bell. Be well.